1 week until the November midterm election, and voters will be voting on 2 Senate races with the same candidates. The first race is to officially fill the seat left by Kamala Harris when she became vice president. That term ends in January. Now, the second is to elect the person who will be in that Senate seat for the next 6 years. Democratic Senator Alex Padilla was appointed by Governor Newsom to fill that seat. He is running against Republican Mark Moiser. Senator Padilla joins us live from Los Angeles this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me, and I appreciate that plug for early vote.
Absolutely. The economy, obviously, a huge concern for voters. We have high gas prices, high inflation. Senator, just very quickly, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Oh, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. We just wanted to make sure we still had our connection with you. We're talking about inflation. Everything is high right now. Gas prices, food, rent. What do you think needs to be done to bring down both?
Well, look, first of all, I want to make it clear that I approach the question not just as a senator, but as a father with 3 growing, constantly hungry boys. So whether it's at the gas station, at the grocery store, or anywhere else, we feel it as well. But the good news is Democrats have been taking action in the nation's capital. With the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act just a couple of months ago, it will bring down the cost of health care, whether it's your premiums, if you rely on the ACA for healthcare coverage, capping the cost of prescription drugs for seniors and giving Medicare the opportunity, the power to negotiate prescription drug prices. That's going to be a big help. There's other things in the mix here. We know gas prices were sky high, have begun to come down significantly, and plans in the works to invest more in housing costs, invest more in education, and restore the child tax credit, which helps so many families being able to uplift nearly half the nation's children that live in poverty out of poverty. So it's a big part of the work I'm eager to return to starting the week after the election, and of course for the next session.
Senator, you're the chair of the Judiciary Subcommittee on Immigration, Citizenship, and Border Safety. Now, there's been no movement on immigration reform. What do you think you can do to get that moving, and what reforms would you like to see happen first?
Yeah, well, look, we're not going to give up until we pass immigration reform. No state has more at stake in it than the state of California, given the diversity of both our population and our economy. I mean, I think first things first, we have to be able to kind of separate, not let maybe some challenges at the border and the need to restore the asylum system for people coming from a number of countries from doing right by the millions of immigrants, both documented and undocumented, that have been here for years, working in essential jobs, contributing to the strength of our country. We got to start by helping dreamers, start by helping workers in agriculture, not just farm workers, but frankly, all essential workers that have sacrificed so much throughout the pandemic. They deserve to not live in constant fear of deportation. And I think there's growing support for that. We need 10 Republicans with the courage, with the backbone to do what's right. Democrats are ready to do this, but given the rules of the Senate, we have to overcome that filibuster. And I'm hoping the session after Election Day, before January, provides that opportunity.
Senator, let's talk about gun violence. That's a major issue in so many communities. You held a roundtable in Northern California to talk about it. What solutions are you in support of, I guess, to stop the increasing gun violence in our communities?
Yeah, well, first, proud of some of the progress that we made this year already. Sadly, it took the tragedies in Buffalo, New York, and Uvalde, Texas, to build the bipartisan support necessary to pass the Safer Communities Act. So closing the boyfriend loophole, strengthening background checks, at least for buyers up until the age of 21, and investing in mental health care across the country. Those are significant steps, but still left to be done. And I strongly support this. Banning assault weapons. They have no place in our communities. They're meant for the battlefield. Banning the sale of large capacity magazines, and not just strengthening background checks for buyers under the age of 21, but across the board. We need national laws in place so that it's not easy to buy guns in one state and traffic them into other states. We know these laws, these policies work. The 10 years that we had a national assault weapons ban, the types of mass killings that we've seen went down. So we know it works and it needs to be reinstated.
You know, Senator, in all my decades of covering elections, I've never seen a country so divided and people so angry. In the wake of the attack on Speaker Pelosi's husband, the U.S. Capitol Police Chief today asked for more security for members of Congress. Do you think that's necessary?
Well, first, let me just start by sharing my thoughts with the Pelosi family, not just Paul, hoping for his complete recovery, but the entire family. It's sadly a sign of the times that we are living in. You know, when you have the constant divisive rhetoric, the conspiracy theories, frankly, that we see way too much of, that ends up leading to incidents like the deadly insurrection in the nation's capital last January 6th, and now attack on either members of Congress or their families in their own homes. It's gone too far and needs to ratchet down. More security, at least for congressional leaders, those in the line of succession, I think is overdue. And again, one of the conversations that the Congress as a whole will return to when we get back to session after the election.
So, Senator, how do we calm down that rhetoric? Because politicians are getting targeted all over the country.
Yeah, politicians, and I'll tell you who else, sadly, election workers. I saw it happening when I was in my prior capacity as Secretary of State of California in the 2016 cycle, the 2020 cycle. It's getting even more heated in this 2022 cycle. We start by repudiating it. You know, when the attack on Paul Pelosi happened last Friday, a lot of people, a lot of Democrats, and even some Republicans, you know, denounced the violence. But sadly, not all Republicans did. And so we need to lead by example by saying violence is wrong. We're not going to condone it regardless of who the target is. But it's clearly a lot more one-sided. It's coming from the other side of the aisle. The rhetoric that's leading to this violence is what I'm referring to. So we need to lead by example in denouncing violence and then having reasonable debate. We can discuss and debate policy, whether it's taxes, whether it's, you know, access to health care, those sorts of things. But when people start peddling conspiracy theories and inciting violence, that's going too far. And folks elected and unelected need to be held accountable.
All right, Senator Alex Padilla, we appreciate you and we wish you luck.
Thank you for your time.